everyone, welcome back to SkyPi News. So I'm joined yet again with my sister Amber, and so it's been a little bit. We really wanted to talk about the tornado outbreaks last week, but Amber was hacking up along, and plus it gave us the opportunity. I was able to find damage surveys and pull radar data. It takes a little while, at least from the source that I'm getting archived radar data from, for it to come up. So we will be able to take a look at that. All right, so we've got all the tornadoes that happened on October, was that 24th? Is that what it was?
27th?
27th.
I have the 27th.
Yeah, the 27th was the more recent one down in Louisiana and Mississippi. And so then there was also one on October 24th. And man, I really wanted to chase on the Sunday the 26th, but I decided not to pull the trigger because I'm like, you know what? I could go chase some nighttime tornadoes, or I could edit a storm chase, like a full like documentary style, my normal storm chasing videos, and get that uploaded. So that's what I did, and so that video.
And yes. Sister Pie is always like, no nighttime tornadoes. Too scary. Too scary.
Yeah, and so that will be fun to post. I'm gonna say it here. I'm gonna post that video in the next week. You guys can hold me to it. You can get mad at me if it doesn't happen. And so I'm gonna see if I can get it done this weekend. So, but if not, next week, right before SkyPi. I will not start SkyPi until that video's done. Of course, it's been like 3 weeks since the last one. So, but anyway, who's counting?
I'm counting. I'll count for you.
No. Okay, so yeah, there was lots of tornadoes in Missouri on the 24th. That was a nasty day. And then there were a bunch on the 25th. And so then we've also got some more La Palma news, because it just seems like La Palma is blowing everyone's expectations, and it's erupting. And it's starting to beat its own records for longest eruption. I think the last one was probably like in 1950 that lasted this long. So
the longest eruption for La Palma.
Yes, its record.
Not for the
its
world.
record. Yes. And
because when you said that, I was like, wait, Hawaii, Kilauea has been erupting forever. Yeah. Iceland's been erupting since March.
La Palma's just nuts because it's already destroyed like, I think, 2,800 buildings so far.
So sad.
Anyway, let's jump right into the thumbnail of this video. And this tornado just spawned out of nowhere down in Louisiana. And so I guess first let's dive into some context here. I've got some Ghost 16, and let's pop it up here. And so this was...
It looks like a heart. You got two little sides.
Yeah, and it was really fascinating watching one of Reed's live streams, because this is like we've had, I think, 4 troughs. I may be off about that. 4, I forget.
A couple of them were bomb cyclones. They went through bombogenesis out in the ocean.
Yeah, I'll show those later on. But anyway, here, oops, not that one, this one. And
sneak preview.
Sneak preview. So yeah, we've got one low pressure system up here swirling away. This was on October 21st, so coming into it. And I'm pretty sure I saw a headline that this was forecast to make a bomb cyclone. I did not get a chance to check to see if it did off of the East Coast, but it was definitely swirling like crazy. So,
well, yeah, there was definitely a bomb cyclone that hit the Northeast there. So
okay, cool. And so then this trough starts digging in. So this is when I was thinking about going storm chasing, but you can just see that there is just a little bit of cauliflower popping up there in Kansas. And there was a 5% chance, but I stayed back and did some editing. And
cauliflower.
So then it slowly makes its way across Texas into the night, and then it just goes crazy as it goes into Louisiana and Mississippi, even Alabama. So, and then of course,
that was spectacular. That was spectacular because even on the radar, it showed like a due north to south line of thunderstorms, like from Gulf of Mexico all the way to the Arctic, just straight up and down. Like you can see a little curvature there near Louisiana, but I saw multiple other weather geeks who are like, have you ever seen such a straight line of thunderstorms go so many thousands of miles across the continent before.
Whee! And so it was really fascinating looking at Reed Timmer's stream a while ago when he was forecasting some of these events, and he was saying that this was caused by having our second La Nina year in a row, and apparently that likes to send some troughs through at this time of year. Apparently, at least it's not terribly uncommon for them. So
it also means in Colorado we stay dry, but our folks up in Montana and Washington and all get very wet this winter. So I'm expecting a meh. Winter.
All right,
meh.
let's pull this video up here of the first tornado. I think this was the first tornado of the day. Like, I wasn't even awake yet that it was this early. So we've got just a nice it's a nice drill bit tornado. I mean, it wasn't like the EF4 from Minnesota last year, but we've got this nice one here. So this is taken by Mary Fan here, and I think that's how you pronounce her last name. So let me get that in the comments for you. And this was unbelievable because it sent an ATV flying into the air. So you can see it right here. She caught it just as it was like, as it was lofted, and then it just tumbles down into the ground.
It took me forever to figure out which one was the ATV. I guess I had to stop and start it multiple times. Finally was like, oh, it's that box-looking thing. That's
with the 4 wheels on it. So that thing
doesn't look normal. Yeah. It doesn't look normal. It's like...
So she got...
like a feather.
Yeah. She got this licensed through Storyful here, and once it made its rounds around the news networks, they were able to get an audio version, because this one, the one that she posted, doesn't have it here. So once the web page over here on the other screen loads, I'll be able to send it your way. Oh, okay, cool. Here it is.
Loading.
So let's pull that up here. And, oh, hey, this one doesn't... Oh, I've got it muted up here.
Ha!
Yeah, pretty freaky there. Let's get the... I don't think she even noticed that the ATV was flying in that shot there. Of course, if you're seeing this thing off on here. So we've got an article from K4. So this isn't a local news station, but she licensed it to Storyful, so they all have the same cookie cutter article that was here. So K4 here has a decent one. So if Amber, if you can go ahead and get that read there in the doc, I'll pull up there.
Oh, doc. I'm looking at the National Weather Service.
We'll come back
Kansas
to that
City?
in a second. I have it highlighted there in the doc, so just go ahead and read that a little bit.
La, 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 la. All the way up. This one's under October 27th, though. So
yes, we're starting with the most recent one. This is the thumbnail of the video.
Gotcha. So we're not on the 24th anymore. Okay. Sorry to be confused. Fan, if that's her name, tells Storyful that she saw debris and what she thought was a fire, and then she looked over and saw the tornado. It was much closer to me than the video is showing, Fan said. It was scary, and I thought about driving off the road to get away from it. The National Weather Service had issued a tornado watch for the area and warned residents of the wind speed of the widespread wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour with hail up to a quarter size.
Yeah.
If you're seeing flashes, maybe it's electrical power lines instead of a fire.
Yeah. So here is an alternate angle that also caught the ATV. This guy was rolling before the tornado even formed, so he knew something was up. And so we've got it here, and it just pops out of nowhere. So let's watch this. Oop, I just realized I don't have desktop audio, so you guys couldn't hear that last clip. Anyway, there we go. Listen to that roar. And it just starts shredding trees. And it goes up, and then eventually the ATV goes up here. And there it goes. And then it starts getting really windy there at the end. You can hear the winds picking up on him, and he just gets out of there.
That's really freaky.
Yeah, so this is nuts. And looking at this thing was basically it was coming towards him. Like looking at it on Google Earth, I'll pull up the damage path in a second here. So it did pass him ultimately, but it was still picking up some decent winds around him. And
But we know why he turned off his camera. It's like wind, wind, wind.
yeah, I mean, it's like coming towards him. So there is a picture that circulated around it, although I was not able to find an actual source from anything. So take this with a grain of salt. This could be it. This is an ATV that is just absolutely mangled. The frame is still intact, but so
No.
I could not find who actually took this. I could not even find like this news station like citing it. So I'm not. This could be just someone that posted it, and then the news picked it up, and so it could be. But that sure looks like it. I mean, it's wet and stuff, and so
That's just $2,000 worth of equipment there, all
yeah.
mangled.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 4.
Yeah, so let's take a look here at the radar from this day. So we've got, so as the line of storms is coming through, I guess it wasn't the first one. This was the first tornado report, brief tornado. So here's I-10 up here where they filmed it. And so it just goes right along. Did this go warned first? Oh, yeah. So this was warned first here. Ooh, we even got a nice little nasty eye. So typically when there's strong and also broad rotation, I just learned this earlier this year that you can basically see an eye in the rotation here. So
especially in Dixie Alley area.
Yeah, Dixie Alley can be scary. Yeah, this last spring we saw a couple of eyes, and they were from wedge tornadoes underneath. So it's really tough to tell because the radar's seeing that high in the atmosphere. And so we've got a solid hook echo here. First, the tornado was reported here. So at least the warning, people had time. And look at that hook echo as it crosses the interstate. We've got... Yep, public. So I think people were posting it to social media at that point. And then multiple damage reports. So it lifts. Oh yeah, it lifted after it went across the interstate and then dropped again. So and causing lots of other tornado reports here as well. So nice little renegade supercell out there. It was mixing a little bit right before. I believe this is the cold front over here. And so prime environment there in the warm sector, just had the right wind shear to pull that off. And so
then the cold front is actually that big line of thunderstorms behind that cell, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's still warm, hot weather where this tornado is happening.
Yeah, following Skip Talbot, he's like always saying, watch out for the cold front, it'll get you. And purely from a storm chaser's perspective. So not like...
Meaning it'll kill your storm,
yes, exactly.
not kill you.
So, anyway, let's move on to here and let's pull up the National Weather Service here. They've got some survey articles of these particular, those first 2 tornado reports. So, Amber, if you can go ahead.
Discrete supercells and a squall line developed ahead of an advancing cold front producing several tornadoes across southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. Hey, we have family down there. A tornado touchdown south of Old Highway 90 near Highway 82, severely damaging a brick home. A large building in the backyard was destroyed. An RV was tossed 25 yards. Yeah, don't take refuge in your RV, folks. A truck flipped over and 3 other vehicles were pushed out of the driveway. An ATV stored in the building in a backyard was picked up. So the building was destroyed, and then it was picked up in the tornado and tossed across 110. So I take it that's your ATV.
Yes, that's definitely it.
Further to the north, well, and I assume that's also your picture. Like, it kind of confirms they had an exact location on where it landed. Further to the north on Highway 62 at Texas DOT office, large warehouses in the back had the overhead doors blown in. 15 minutes later, just north, a large tornado began across Highway 1130, flipping
15 minutes
a
north,
double
you said?
wide. 15 minutes north on Highway 11:30.
So are you on, because there's two tornadoes here. So are you talking about the new one at that point, or are you still on the first one?
Well, it says 15 minutes later after the first tornado.
Okay, cool. Thank you. This is what I was wondering. I just missed it.
Flipping a double-wide mobile home that was tied down. The woman inside was critically injured.
Ugh.
And the highways along Highway 1, the homes along Highway 1130 had trees fall on them, roofs ripped off, wind-blown debris damage. 1130.
Oh, 1130.
So 1,100.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
The tornado continued north on South Teal Road, blowing down trees along Hudnall Road. Hey, that's the name of my pastor's, Hudnall Road. Several homes and garages lost their roofs. Tornado turned a little to the northeast and hit Woodland Ridge Acres subdivision off of Highway 87, blowing down more trees. And the tornado crossed Orange County into Newton County, damaging several homes and garages in Hartburg.
Yeah, so this thing, like, it like maintained its, I mean, it lifted for a little bit, but it maintained its EF2 status there. So that was EF2. Was it an EF? No, it was an EF2 that went around me earlier, I believe. And after seeing that damage from March, yeah, EF2s, it doesn't sound much. I mean, considering the scale that you see in the news and whatnot, but you don't want to be caught in them. So
you don't want
an EF1, you can probably get by in your car. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. You have a way better chance getting by in your car with an EF1. But an EF2...
Don't listen to Pi. Get in a ditch. Don't let yourself sit in a car.
Do not get in your car if you're already outside one. But, I mean, it's just that if you're a storm chaser and you got caught in one. But, anyway, we're going to be talking more about that later on today. So, let's see. So... Yeah, 15 minutes later. Okay, so then these tornadoes, I'm kind of curious before we move on. Let me take a look at the correlation coefficient. Oh, yes, nice little debris there. Let's start back at the beginning and start going through and see when it starts picking. Oh, yeah. So right there, that first tornado report. Is that on the damage assessment survey? No, it's not on the damage assessment KMZs that I downloaded. But, so it definitely messed up some trees, and then, yeah, easy debris ball there. So, yeah, I guess when you're seeing debris balls like that, I mean, there's a good chance that ATVs could get lofted, too. And, oh, wow, look at that. That's a solid one. I don't have any videos.
ATVs inside woodsheds. It's not just sitting in the backyard. They blew apart the shed and then sucked up the ATV.
Right. All right, so then the whole system moved off east, and I think, was this at the point when I started screen capturing? Let me see if this is... Nope, this... Lake Charles... Is this already over Lake Charles? This might be Lafayette. So yeah, this... Okay, we'll come back to this.
Not Lake Charles. Poor Lake Charles.
Yeah, Lake Charles. They've been getting so hammered. Like, two tornadoes...
They just got their radar back up and running after Hurricane Laura, was it?
I don't remember the names of the hurricanes, which ones they were, but
it was Laura.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There were so many hurricanes last year, okay?
Hurricane Laura was the big one.
So yeah.
Yeah, we saw the satellite or the radar, and it's just a stem with a bunch of wires sticking out after that hurricane went through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the last year they had two hurricanes, essentially. The first one went through, basically right through. They had the eye went over it. Now this year they got two tornadoes here as well. I've got a buddy that's from... Yes?
I confirm that it is Hurricane Laura.
Oh, cool.
Confirmation.
And...
You have a buddy.
He is from Lake Charles, and that's where he grew up in any case. So he's like, I was talking to him today, and he was like, yep, so I'm glad I got out of there when we did, because our old place, it was like a part of one wall had come off in the first hurricane, and then the rest of the wall came off in the second hurricane, so then they just demolished it, and then he was just joking, and he's like, after the tornadoes now, there's not even the rubble is there anymore. The tornado,
I mean, he should have just waited. He should have just waited for the tornado to demolish it for him.
I know, right?
You can predict such things.
All right, so let's pull up.
That's so sad.
let's pull up that
I don't,
same article. Go ahead and grab it. And so,
I don't want my house hit by. I don't want my house hit by several hurricanes and then lose one wall at a time. So in Lake Charles, a tornado touched down west of Elliott Road and traveled east parallel to and south of Ham Reed Road, causing several structural damages. Lake Charles, they probably just barely got done with this hurricane.
was the EF2, right? The EF2.
Structural damage to and around a dozen homes and minor damage to several more in a neighborhood. Reports from the sheriff's office indicated a woman was injured when a window was blown into their home. Yeah, get away from windows, people, if the weather's looking nasty. A second person suffered a deep laceration to the leg as a result of blowing debris. No. The tornado weakened as it crossed Lake Street and lifted as it passed along Aberdeen Drive. A second tornado hit Lake Charles. Not again! This one is on Industrial Avenue off of Highway 14. Two large warehouse-sized buildings had sections of their roof and walls collapse. Damage continued on the other side of I-210, where some trees were snapped off East Preen Lake Road.
Yeah.
And then you have some drone footage, apparently.
Yeah, let's pull up some of that. So it's chaser footage. So I'll just provide you guys the link here so that way you can check it out. Here, I'll give you the thumbnail of it, and let me get this in the chat here.
Is that a pond or is that a swimming pool? It looks so blue.
That's a swimming pool. Yeah. So
really? It's so fancy.
Yeah, I believe this was the first one. This may have been the first. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, that was probably the first one then, unless there's a pond right there. But there's definitely lots of residential here. So they don't have any pictures, at least in this survey. And oh yes, they have lots of pools there. So
pools here. Ploxy is asking what you're using to find your tornado paths.
The tornado map paths. Yeah, so I found this really cool website called the Damage Assessment Toolkit. I can put this in here. And so I've been finding that all the National Weather Service's offices have been contributing to this. I mean, they don't contribute every tornado. So on here, this is what I've been using. And then you just put in the date. And so say we do this from here. And then you hit submit. And then then all the tornado damage paths will show up here. And then to just download it into Google Earth, you hit the download button, draw a nice rectangle over it all. Choose the Shapeways files thing here, and come on. There we go. And then it'll start extracting all the data, and you can download a KMZ file, which you just literally drag into Google Earth, and it all shows up there. So it's amazing. I found limited, I realized this is where the offices are getting their KMZ files from. So, and that was, so this is really nice to have. Now that I have it bookmarked, it's so much easier to find these things, especially when the weather services only put together surveys like this. It's just a bunch of text. So, anywho, let's pull
KMZ files. You said Google Maps just takes a KMZ file, but I've never heard that file format. What else is it used for besides? Is it just a Google Maps exclusive?
No, I think it's an open source. I think multiple programs can open it. So anyway, here's this first little tornado. Radar observed tornado debris signature. Lovely. This radar I downloaded did not show up here. But anyway, so here's Lake Charles. The radar's just south of it. So pulling it up. So this time, it wasn't a Renegade supercell. It was actually embedded in the cold front here. So looks like we got a tornado report from there. Oh, yes. Very solid couplet. Very nasty little couplet there. And again, tornado debris signature occurred. Oh, yeah. Nice little blip. Nice little blip showing up there.
Just shows the National Weather Service knows how to do their jobs because they're just watching all along this front for those little notches to pop up. And they seem to have the tornado warning out there before even you, Pi, and I.
Oh, yeah. Them. Well, I mean, to do that, they have to warn 4 times as many tornadoes that are actually on the ground. But you need that warning, even if 3/4 of the time there isn't even a tornado. So,
especially when they're embedded in so much moisture, it's just and it's at night. Yeah. We've noticed they warn way more things at night just because you don't have eyes on the ground looking for the tornado.
Yeah, there's not nearly as many reports going. So anyway, we got lots of couplets here coming into Lake Charles, and let's see. So the first one ought to be like super close to the radar here. Ooh, let's see, what do we got here? At this point, did they have it radar indicated?
Don't hit the radar.
Yeah, they may have been. Oh, there it is. There. Oh man, it's so hard to see.
So close.
Let's look up in higher tilts.
Sometimes the National Weather Service building is right there at the radar, like our National Weather Service in Montana. We've heard some people, like in Nashville, I think the National Weather Service said, we looked out our window, we're like, there it is. You can just see power flashes.
This is funny. They're like, tornado debris signature observed from radar with extensive structural damage. So this was the southern neighborhood here. And they're like, we'll determine the rating once we get a chance. It sounds like a very busy morning there at the office.
We're currently in the basement, in other words.
Oh, wow, you can see it. This is really tough to see here, this debris signature. There's one right there because there's so much noise involved.
Close.
Oh, there we go. The higher tilt, the 0.8 degree tilt, going up slightly more. We only get like one frame. So yeah, it's where. So you barely get anything down here, but this one is just clearly. Oh man.
Was there any
lofted
drone footage of how close the damage was to the National Weather Service or the radar?
Oh, I can just pull it up here. Not drone footage, but Google Earth. So let's find the radar site. So there's an airport right here, so it's probably right by this airport. Let me see. What is that called on here? This is Lake Charles, KLCH. So let's see if we can just search that. KLCH. Radar, yeah. Come on.
Well, maybe it's just the airport radar.
There it is. Yeah, so they're typically pretty close to them, so... Right there! There it is!
Oh, yeah. So that's close. It's just less than a mile,
2 miles away. It was 2 miles away from them. So yeah, enough to get you sweating a little bit. I mean...
So does that mean on a radar, like the black circle on a radar, that's probably a 1 mile radius?
Oh yeah, looks like it. Wow, I didn't realize it was that big. So... That's...
Well, a 1 mile diameter, so that'd be a 2 mile.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Radius to whatever.
Anyway, and so we've got the other velocity couplet. Should be up here. Is that it? Oh man, you barely see it. It may have been so fast. I mean, the damage path is barely on here, so it may have... I wonder if the radar didn't even catch it. Did any other tilts catch it? No, not really. Interesting. So that was... I mean, they definitely had it warned, but I guess that's it right there. I mean, it's on the survey, so they determined it to be a tornado. So I would have expected that we would have been able to see a nice velocity couplet from that. So, and anyway, so now... So these storms continue going on eastward, and let's see, do I have my screen capture of it? Oh, yeah. And they start popping up. A lot of renegade cells were forming up here, and so I'm just screen capturing my computer at this point. So lots of tornado warnings, but it doesn't appear that there was anything substantial. I mean, they put an EF0 up here, but an EF0 over there, and as it keeps going on here, plate, there it goes. Whee! And we've got lots of action going on, but there's something that we want to focus in on here a little bit. So this is all after dark here.
The whole thing just looks alive.
Like all of this looked so menacing. Seeing all of this, I recorded this in 4K, so we can zoom in a little bit. The bit rate's a little. I should have increased the bit rate a little bit more, but. So we got a lot of those. That jerk there is where I'm switching the radars. But, and let's go back over here. So it all just congeals into one line as it moves on along here. But you can see there's like a little blip right there. So a little blip of a tornado warning. And right there. So, Picayune, Mississippi. That is a town that we visit often because we have family there. So, we had a grandmother that just passed, and yeah.
We know better than to watch where our family is, so we give them plenty of warning of such storms. But we saw a couple tornadoes over Lake Pontchartrain down there, and at that part of the storm, like I expected all the tornadoes to be on the east side of the front, not the west side of the front.
Well, this is like
anyway,
right in it at this point.
I'm watching television, and Pi comes upstairs saying, "Wait a second, what did we miss 2 hours ago?" Someone posted on the Storm Junkies Facebook page that something hit Picayune.
Yeah, that a tornado hit Picayune. They were showing the debris signature. So there was one land spout that was determined from here. That was never warned, but so is everything.
Well, we immediately pulled up the radar, and then we immediately pulled up Google Maps to figure out what it hit, where it hit. We saw it 2 hours after the fact.
So Picayune, Mississippi. So we were just there in when were we?
September. I was there in September.
You were just there in September? Oh man.
You were there in May, so we were there twice last year helping with Grandma's estate sale.
Yep. So here there's the debris signature, and I won't be too specific, but their house is like within this area. I think it was
we thought it was 2 miles.
2 miles away.
Close, as far away as the National Weather Service was to it. But anyway, we told Father Pi about it, who then texted his sister, Aunt Carol, and she replied with, they're used to hurricanes. They're used to severe weather. She's like, oh yeah, it's pretty stormy. She says it was pretty stormy for a while. Tornado and flood warnings. I think there was a tornado not too far from here. It's all over now, though. It's just like, no big deal. That's like my commute to work is 4 miles. So that would be a tornado between here and my work, which is just one hill over. That's how close that is. That's not, there might have been a tornado in town.
We're we usually do so well with keeping our family informed. Like, hey, there's a tornado coming for you, kind of thing. So
we're totally oblivious, and we have several cousins that have multiple different houses there that we could have been warned, but after we looked at it, it looked like it was very fast, right? It wasn't on the ground for very long, so even if we had noticed a debris signature by the time we told them
2 miles, so that may have been only on the ground for 5 minutes. So it hit
5 minutes is longer than I thought.
So it looks like it touched down in this neighborhood, and I'm trying to wonder.
Hey, we always stay at the Holiday Inn, which is there on the main road. It's just south of.
There's the Days Inn. Have we stayed there?
No, I think.
Or is this
maybe.
Super 8? Where is that? Let me search it. Holiday Inn, because I'm curious. Yeah.
I think the tornado's just north of the Holiday Inn.
Okay, yeah, down here. Here it is. Holiday Inn.
So we
first Eve.
Oh man, it hit in the backyard of the Holiday Inn. And then is that what's the big building right where the tornado?
Harbor Freight. It's a Harbor Freight Tools. So it was relatively weak, and so when it finally moved into these trees, that's when it finally started picking up the debris that got on the radar up here. So, yep, it was definitely in there. So, and the neighborhood that we're in is within this region that I'm doing on here. So, yep.
Yeah, we just sold Grandma's house there last September. So, little close for comfort.
Yes.
Sorry, Aunt Carol. Sorry, Cousin Val. Sorry, Cousin Chris. Cousin Chris is a news, he's a cameraman for the New Orleans news. So during the most recent hurricanes, he goes down to New Orleans and sits down there and actually has to hunker down during the entire hurricane. But we should probably call up Cousin Chris and say, hey, were you in town for this? Did you see the tornado go through? Of course, he works for New Orleans, not for Picayune. news. But
Well, go ahead and read the article here that I have. I think this is a New Orleans news station, WLOX.
Pearl River. Pearl River. Picayune, an EF1 tornado touched down in the Pearl River County on Wednesday night, confirmed by the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service were in Picayune Thursday morning assessing the damage. There was no other damage anywhere near them, so they could go quickly, I guess. And confirming it was a tornado that did indeed sweep through the area, lofting debris, which the debris was strewn across several roadways and properties. EF1 tornadoes are estimated to have a wind ranging from 86 miles per hour to 110. Nearly 400 residents were without power Wednesday night, but it had mostly been restored by Thursday morning. Now, I don't think Aunt Carol lost power. No injuries were reported in this storm. So, thankfully, it was a small one. I do kind of remember there's like an arboretum that you can go there. We go every time. We're in Picayune, and you can go look at the cool Louisiana bayou plants and trumpet plants and turtles in the water and stuff. And I do remember them saying that there was a tornado just a few years before that took down all these trees in the arboretum. This again was very close to the arboretum, within like a mile of it. So, it's just that thought of, we have tornadoes and hurricanes, but they're so small, they're not really going to hit.
True, this was only an EF1. I mean, you have to be basically standing out in it. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. In EF0, you'd have to stand out in it to get injured, but you could still get injured
in the middle of
it. But
in the middle of a downpouring rain too, you wouldn't even probably see it coming.
Yeah.
So.
Anyhow, so
but we're thankful our family is safe, even though Pi and Sister Pi weren't there to warn them. Sorry.
Let's see, were there any other tornadoes that touched down over here? Let me get my settings switched. Let's see. So yeah, the whole thing just moves off. Like, it was so random. I mean, it was after dark. I just stopped paying attention to it. I mean, I was out driving someplace. I forget where I was, but so that's why I didn't quite see it. But
Michael Williams is asking if you saw any of tornado intercepts footage from. Well, I guess we're not on October 24th.
Oh yeah, we're getting to that. We're about to start talking about that whole tornado outbreak the few days before. I just like watching these loops, and
all that moisture coming out of the Gulf. Yeah, we do like Louisiana, Picayune. Our favorite place is Dauphin Island, which the storm is going over Dauphin Island right there, which is off the Alabama coast.
Let's see, there were a few other tornado warnings heading right for the Mobile radar there. Did those amount to anything? Mobile did. We got a little EF0, barely EF1 down here as well.
Huh.
So, that did go right through some neighborhoods.
Right through town. Yeah.
Let's see. This is what generated the EF1 tornado. Is it going to download? It's just thinking about its life. Maybe it'll pop up here in a second. And but Mobile is up here, so nothing too crazy in that regard. All right, shall we move on to the Missouri outbreak? Man, I was so tempted to go because they had like a 10% hatched area for this, and let me pull that up really quick.
I couldn't go chasing again.
Yeah,
or did you chase this?
No, I was thinking about it. Our younger sister Pi out there was all excited. She's like, "Come visit me!" But I had to work on the Sunday. Okay, that's really all that did. Finally popped up.
Ouch! That looks like our grandma's house right there. Is that a hole in the roof or is it a tarp? It's like
that's a hole in the roof. Yep, that's definitely a hole.
That's so sad.
I am retrieving outlooks on here because I want to show
because in these like Louisiana storms, you get that hole ripped in your roof, and then you just have rain pouring into your house, so everything will get ruined from the rain, even if you didn't get destroyed from the tornado.
Nice juicy hatched area there. And so I was so tempted to go out there, especially since I could have spent the night in a bed. And although my sister lives down in like this area, like practically on the Arkansas border. So there was a lot of hype for this day, and I don't think thought I had recorded radar of it, but I think this loop that I was showing you guys has that first set. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this loop, I was mainly trying to capture the next event, but here it is. So here's all of the storms. So this doesn't show the earlier tornadoes during the day, but this is where just it just madness ensued down here in the southeast corner of it. But it made a nice little swirl on there. Whee! The triple point was just hanging out up there. And so
I don't know why low pressures are so much fun to watch, but
they are. Like, I mean, I had no idea that, like, before I started getting into storm chasing, that so many of these low pressure systems would go over the U.S. all the time and not just out in the Atlantic causing huge hurricanes.
Yeah, they just look like hurricanes on land instead of huge hurricanes out in the ocean.
All right, so let's pull
24th.
Let's pull up the National Weather Service survey, starting with Kansas City, because that's what they were doing here. So 7 confirmed tornadoes formed across northeast Kansas. And an EF2 tornado impacted Purdin, Missouri around 4:30. Its track length was over 40 miles. The most single-day tornado count for Kansas City National Weather Service office since March 2017. So go ahead and read the part I have highlighted there below it. That's what I was able to.
Yeah, I was trying to find the comment earlier. One of our viewers was asking if you were going to talk about Purdin. Here we go.
Here we go.
Purdin. So an unseasonably warm and moist air mass moved into the area on the afternoon of October 24th, 2021. This air mass fueled severe storms that produced 7. You already said 7 tornadoes across the region between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., which is good because the sun sets about 5 p.m. The first, depending on where you are, the first tornado occurred just after 2 in Donovan County. And while it was well photographed, it did not produce significant damage. That's the kind of tornadoes we like to taste.
Is there any chance that you could find the Kansas City, one of the news stations actually sent out a helicopter and got it? I don't suppose you could find that. I tried to find it before we went live, but I wasn't sure.
I think that was on YouTube.
Yeah, it is on YouTube, their live stream. So, let's see. As the storms made, they produced.
It was like KMC.
Was Purdin. So the Purdin tornado. This was interesting. So we started watching it live just after this first tornado touched down on the ground here, and so
it was the Kansas City news station, right?
Yeah, yeah. I forget which one it was. And so first storm report, roof damage. So that was a report that was put down there later. Let's see what they put for the actual. Just radar indicated. Oh, there it is. Tornado observed. There's a couple of warnings on here. And then, oh yeah, we also had another, just a short EF0 tornado up there as well. Let's take a look at the velocity on here. Ugh, a lot of noise. Forget what this green stuff is called. It's not legit.
Green stuff.
Green stuff. It's getting it on everything. I think it might happen when it's, I don't know. I forget. I looked up the explanation.
I just copied the helicopter.
Okay, yeah, this was really something here. And it just, I was really impressed that they had a helicopter up there in October. And so it starts, oh, right, let me share this with you guys because this is really something. And
NBC has their own helicopter.
Yeah.
Colorado Springs used to have their own helicopter, and we sold it. So.
Oh, bummer. Yeah. Well, I mean, not that there's any tornadoes to chase here. So, though one of our Denver stations was able to get that landspout from earlier this year. So a nice little, not the most photogenic tornado out there. And this streams, there's a sharper one on here. So,
but that's how they knew that it was on the ground. Was the helicopter was just like.
Oh yeah, they have a better live stream somewhere on here. This is just the live stream from the helicopter. There's the one from that the news reporters were done. They have some really nice footage on there. I don't know if you can find that at all. It should be from the same station. So, and eventually this storm kept moving off and was just getting farther and farther from the radars. And so it was really hard to tell what was going on with it. I mean, you couldn't see a velocity couplet in it at all. So I think I have
Sent you a secondary link.
A secondary link.
It's also
oh,
a helicopter.
Yes, here it is. This is definitely it. So you guys got to take a look at this footage. I'll show you just a little bit here. And so it's just like dancing there. Like, oh, that's just like the, and of course the lower third.
They're banners.
Get rid of the lower third. But then again, the cameraman, just because you can zoom in doesn't mean you always should. But if they had just kept it wider, that would have been fine too. So, and
well, and the cameraman had a producer telling him exactly what to do. So.
There it is. Very beautiful little just vortice, and that's just something that you can't really capture well from the ground. So that's why drones are becoming like just awesome for storm chasing. So yeah, check that out. And so we need to. I would just love if I could storm chase in a helicopter. There's probably so much logistical thing, and I think they only get like a couple of hours of fuel, so you can only chase for so far. I mean, a plane would probably be fine. You'd probably have to go in circles, but I mean, helicopters do too. Anyway, let's still move on and take a look at Purdin. So the storm continues moving off east. I think I have it here. Yep, so it was...
Bandana?
So it kept going. Nope, we had one tornado report, a brief EF0 there, and here's Purdin. So the first tornado report, fire department came in, and this was super hard to see. It's so far from the radar that it's just like, how do you even know this? Like, that this is anything, like not even like the correlation coefficient is like really solid to look at here. Basically,
I think KMBC kept saying that. KMBC, the news from Kansas City, said that too. We were super far from the radar. It's interesting when they're broadcasting live and they're also admitting like we just can't see what is happening because we're miles and miles and miles away.
Yeah, and there is the storm chaser on here had some kind of disconcerting footage here. He was on it at this point, and you know when they put a disclaimer at the beginning of it that that the chase didn't exactly go to plan. So
I'm an 11-year chaser. I accept full responsibility for my mistake. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, so he saw this thing. It was a wedge at this point, and so I'll just show you a few clips here because you guys, I mean, he put this up. I commend him for it. It's not easy to put up mistakes that you put on here. So, I mean, so at least go ahead and give him the views for it. But yeah, some solid rain curtains here. And right here, just seeing this, like, that's how you know that's a beast when you're just seeing rain moving from left to right on there. And so he says in the description here coming after that, he thought the tornado was still moving northeast, but this is something that I've definitely experienced too, but the tornado just started moving straight east. Actually, let's see if we can take a look at that on here. And we have a northeast moving storm. So then, okay, yeah, so it's probably at this point where it's moving basically due east, and when it first touches down. And so it threw him off. And so he gets this one shot at the end. And just to motivate you guys to go watch it, it is... I'll give you a still frame. So, yep, this is what he was driving through. He's got it in slow motion, so that way it may have been like a dash cam. It's like choppy for some reason. So, but yeah, that's...
Maybe streaming live or something. This is live stream.
Oh yeah, that could be. I'm not sure exactly. It's been about a week since I've watched it too. So
it was moving east and then it started going northeast.
No, it started going north. I believe he says here that it was moving northeast. Yeah, and had begun to turn to the east. So it was probably at this point where it's like moving due east here. And so I've done that. Like there's been a time when a tornado, I lost my windshield because I drove into the bear's cage because the tornado was dissipating, And so I drove into the bear's cage after it. But I thought I could stay south of the tornado. But I'm like, well, the tornado's moving right to left. So I'm not going to go south anymore. And because I would have to cross his path, and it was getting rather close at that point. And so once it finally started crossing the road, that's when I went, and then I drove in the bear's cage, and there was gorilla hail that was falling, and it took out my windshield. Bummer. That was the first time that happened.
And he's like, I didn't feel good about being in the store. Maybe I should turn around. Smash.
Yeah, and
that was a not so fun day. That was Wyoming, wasn't it?
That was Wyoming. Yeah.
Or was that
Let's see if
how many windshields have you lost now, Pi?
Just one windshield. Here it is.
No, you've lost at least one.
Texas Storm Chasers has it. They've got let me share this here. That looks like they have a pretty solid video of the tornado as well. Is this the same guy? Texas. This looks like the same footage. Is this it? Ooh, they got some solid footage here. Or is that just that's an intro. Never mind. Okay, let me pop that up in here, but let's take another look at the damage survey. And there it is. So, all right. So the tornado developed along 216th Street, State Highway B in Lane County, Missouri. It quickly intensified into an EF1 before strengthening into an EF2 as it passed just south of Purdin, Missouri. Several trees, buildings, and vehicles were damaged. The tornado dissipated after traveling 31 miles east. So had a good, let's see, how far is this? 30 miles. Yep. Let's take a look at some of the EF2 damage there. Let's see if I can find some of the more interesting. Because the first report that we got is that like some big containers had rolled. I'm not sure if that's on here.
Is that the big propane tanks?
I think so.
Or were they more like containers from semis or something?
Ooh, that's nasty.
Hey, Eric is on my side, by the way. Eric's like, you've only lost one windshield. Shouldn't it be 10 by now? It's like,
goodness.
I'm sure you've lost two.
Until I can get on National Geographic too, and I can afford to just drive straight into them, it'll be it. But what I would love to do is just get
I can afford
some kind of metal grate that I can just put on my back window, and that way, at least I could point my back towards the falling hail, and then my windshield won't be taking the brunt of it, or my back window. Well, that would be really nice.
That's a good point. You've lost just one windshield, but you've lost other windows in your car, right?
Just one out there.
Yeah. No wonder you're like just.
Yeah.
He's lost multiple.
Let's take a look at that one.
Even though they're not dash windows.
Yeah. Let's see. It's time to start closing some windows. 1 second, guys, while I do this here. Do we need this one as well? Nope, we don't need that one.
Sorry, I was slightly confused. I thought you had your basement windows open. It's getting cold in your room.
Yeah, so there were
some windows.
multiple tornadoes that day, but this was all still during the daytime. And so these storms moved on. There was a couple of smaller ones down farther east. Let me pull up that radar as well. So we had a couple of ones. There was a reporter down here. This one I don't think anyone saw. Yeah, it was a survey, EF0. We were watching some storm chasers. They saw some debris there. And nice little, what do you call that? It's not a hook. Is it a hook? Couplet? Well, here's where really hard to see the radar on here, even at like different tilts. So, but eventually we'll move over to the St. Louis one. So there were a lot of tornado reports this day, and so this was from a different trough, to be clear, from earlier.
At this point of the storm, it starts like shooting out, right? And the line picks up in speed. So if I remember right, it was going like 50, 60 mile an hour. Like the storms were at this point. So they were just flying, and it was really hard for storm chasers to stay up, keep up with them.
Let me see. Tornado observed.
Maybe it's only
40 miles an hour. I think at night they picked up speed. And 35.
What do they call that again? It eventually 35. Shoots out.
Shoots out? What do you mean?
Like the bow effect. When it turns into a derecho, it eventually picks up so much speed that the line just goes like crazy.
A bow echo.
Well,
yeah.
it's more than the bowing effect. It's like your low pressure is rotating like this, right? And then eventually it just marches across the country.
Oh, an ejection. Yeah. A shortwave trough ejection. Yeah, that's what you're referring to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
And it was something.
So we're not really paying attention much here. I think I'm playing Minecraft in the basement as things are going on. There's another tornado warning. We're kind of looking down here at my sister's area. She just barely tornado possible. That's the best that she got down there. So, but then just the madness ensues, and then these renegade storms down here just started popping up.
Oh yeah, like quadruplets. Like quadruplets were spectacular.
Yep. And so that was just part of it. So we got one tornado report here. So tornado touchdown just outside of Johnston's Shut-In State Park on Highway N, east of Black, Missouri. This tornado snapped the trunks of several large trees on the road before moving into the park. Thankfully, there's not too much in southeast Missouri. So, I mean, I went to school in southwest Missouri, so yeah, I know. I've tried to chase there. My first chase in my own car was in southeast Missouri, and it was awful. So, back in 2017.
Because why was it awful?
Because of all the trees. There's like nothing out there. It's the Ozarks. So
and hills.
Yeah.
Trees and hills.
All right, so we've got this window up here as ding 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 ding. And so I take a look at this image here, just see all of these tornado warnings, and I take one look at base velocity, and I guess this color table.
Oh yeah,
it was way more obvious.
You were at an event. You were not even home for this. You had to go to an event.
No, I was downstairs, wasn't I? I got home earlier.
When it first started, and then you had to leave during the middle of it.
That's right. Yeah, I was going to the gym. Yeah, I left in the middle of this. So this color.
Oh, you had to go work out with a buddy. I did take all the radar loops of this, by the way.
Oh yeah, if you can send those to me, because I like Radar Scope's color table way better than what I'm getting here. So
yeah. Okay, you want them via text or messenger?
It doesn't matter. So we've got this huge chunk of rotation up there, this whole mass of rotation here, this whole mass of rotation there. And so one tornado report, house completely destroyed in Frederictown. So, and up here, 4 houses destroyed near Possum Hollow. And they don't, when a house is destroyed, they'll say it. They won't say, oh, it's been damaged. So.
Oh yeah, Chester was the really bad one.
Yes, we're about to get to that one. And
I'm sending you close-ups of Chester.
This tornado uprooted several trees, broke branches of numerous other trees. The tornado continued into a field where it damaged a manufactured home. After lifting the storm that produced this tornado, went on to produce the Frederictown tornado. Really?
Fredericktown.
Oh wait, but this one.
Yeah, Frederictown was.
Yeah, here it is. Okay, yeah, there's the. Oh, okay. One injured. Tornado touched down southwest of Frederictown and tracked through the town, causing up to EF3 damage. This tornado traveled 20 miles with a maximum width of 880 yards and estimated peak winds of 150 miles an hour. The tornado lifted northeast of the upper Whitewater Creek in Perry County. The period of the tornado event was 20 minutes. Oh, man, look at all of these. So, okay, let's take a look. Were you able to send? Okay, cool. Here they are.
Think. Yeah, it's like I called up my phone, but it won't do the same. It's like, yeah.
Let's see what we got here.
You'd be better off.
Chester. I'll pull them up here in a second. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This color table is way easier to look at here. It's just a screenshot, but... Oh, no, it's not. It's a loop. But, look at these behemoths on here.
And they just one after another after another. It looked like the same towns were going to get hit. Mother Pie, by the way, was asking a week later. She's like, I never heard if there was any damage from those quadruple storms that you were talking about. Because we were on the phone with our folks in Montana. We're like, no, Mother Pie, Father Pie, there's an eye on that
Yeah.
loop. That means it's a really
And here's
big tornado.
Chester. Oh, that couplet is so strong as it crosses the Mississippi or the Missouri. Is that the Missouri? I think this is after they merge, so I think this is the Mississippi River. And as it crosses, it goes into Illinois and just takes them out. And we got the debris ball's just massive. Now, granted, it is seen kind of high up, so the debris ball is going to look bigger, but that was
That's Chester, Missouri, right? Or is that
Chester,
Illinois?
Yeah, this is the Illinois side. So
it just crossed the Illinois. So that's probably the Mississippi. Nope. Yep, Mississippi River.
Yeah. So this was pretty nasty outbreak, and it just seemed like all the chasers were certainly done. There was barely anyone chasing this thing, and so let's take another look here, just the full loop. And here's Chester up here, and just clobbers. Oh, there we go. Tornado emergency. The purple there. Yep, they issued one. It's been a little bit since we've seen a tornado. Oh, look at the eye there. The donut.
Yeah, we kept wondering, like, we kept looking at the warnings, saying, why aren't these? They were PDSs, which is potentially dangerous situation. Particularly, yeah. I was like, potential doesn't make sense.
When you see considerable damage threat, I mean, if you can
get in the
these people had time to leave Chester. It's a little easier to leave a small town than it is a bigger one, so keep that in mind. If you're in downtown St. Louis trying to leave, or Oklahoma City, don't try to leave. Just find shelter. And
we did watch one Storm Stories on the Weather Channel this week where a storm chaser came across a totally demolished house, and he's yelling, anybody here, anybody here? And they said that the people had evacuated ahead of the storm, so that is a possibility.
Yeah, when I chased the Selden tornado, first responders were like going door to door saying, take shelter. You see that tornado over there? It's coming towards us, kind of thing. So and
if you get one of these good radars, like, you can tell exactly where the tornado is, and that
you only get that option with like long track tornadoes, though. That don't happen very often. But this one says catastrophic damage threat. So does it say?
Yeah, I totally missed the tornado emergency. I heard about it later, but I didn't actually see it.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. So tornado emergency for Chester. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Deadly tornado radar confirmed. Oh man, that's nasty.
Usually if it's the tornado emergency, they say get underground. You may not survive. Have they rated these yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll pull up the damage surveys in a second here. I think I know at least one of these was an EF3. So yeah, let's just see. You could almost just pick out the correlation coefficient. Normally you training, but you just be like, gee, let's play guess where the tornadoes are in this image. It's just pretty obvious where the tornadoes are at. Even though there's a
tornado.
Yeah. Oh man, this was nasty.
Well, in the correlation coefficient, if the tornado warning says it's radar confirmed, that's because we can see the debris, which are those blue spots on the correlation coefficient. That's one of the few ways they can confirm it at night when you can't see anything.
Yes, it's pretty much the only way, especially in southeast Missouri, for example. All right, let's pull up the damage survey and take a look at some of this. So anyway, this is by the St. Louis National Weather Service. So go ahead and read that overview there.
National Weather Service. I got it.
Frederictown.
Oh, I'm not there. 1 second.
I need to pull up the Frederictown. Look at these damage paths. We have these little dinky things, but
numerous severe thunderstorms formed ahead of an approaching cold front, which is that nice low pressure system across the southeast Missouri during the evening hours of Sunday, October 24th. As the storms moved northeastward, they moved into a moist, energy-rich environment that was substantial wind shear in the low and mid-levels. They quickly grew, intensified, remaining somewhat isolated, which is a very helpful thing in forming tornadoes. Somewhat isolated, as they moved through southeast Missouri and into southwest Illinois. The environment was very favorable for tornadic development, and these storms produced several tornadoes and wind damage as they moved through the area. 2 storms produced tornadoes that remained on the ground for significant distances.
Wow.
The tornado that moved through Frederictown, Missouri, passing through Madison County into Perry County, was on the ground for 18.9 miles. Another tornado moved from St. Francisco County through St. Genevieve County in Missouri into Randolph County in Illinois, staying on the ground for over 40 miles.
40 miles for an October tornado.
That's like a tornado going from Colorado Springs up to Castle Rock. Like 40 miles on the ground. That's just amazing. Yeah, of course, that's only makes sense to us living in Colorado. But think of what town is 40 miles away from you guys. And ouch.
So let's talk about the Frederictown tornado here. This one, this is a pretty long survey, but you can skim through it if you want.
It is very long. Frederictown, poor Frederictown. Now, I think Reed Timmer, we were watching him live. He was on this tornado to begin with, and then started to go south towards a different cell and missed this one completely.
No, well, this is after dark at this point. No, you're referring to he was trying to chase some of. I think he was trying to get on this storm, but it just didn't pan out up there. This is well after dark. Yeah.
The tornado touched down near St. Francis River, approximately 5.5 miles to the west-southwest of Frederictown, Missouri, where it topped and snapped the trunks of several trees. The tornado continued to the northeast along the river, impacting homes as it approached Frederictown. Here, the tornado ripped off half a roof of one home, rolled a manufactured home on its side, pulled roofing material from another home, and continued to cause considerable tree damage. The tornado is about a half-mile wide as it approached Missouri Highway 72 from the southeast, damaging multiple homes and businesses.
Yeah, so this is 72. This is when it started doing EF3 damage.
A business on the south side of Highway 82 is where the only known injury took place, where an individual was hurt climbing out of debris after the tornado. So they weren't hit by the tornado, just hit by the debris. The tornado strengthened as it moved north of Highway 72, completely destroying a number of homes. It was determined that the frames of these houses were largely only toe-nailed to their foundation, which pre-concluded a higher rating than a low-end EF3, because it looked like they were pulled off their foundations, but they're saying they were poorly built. The tornado then impacted the Black River Electric Co-op. Here, the tornado ripped off a well-built canopy from between 2 small warehouses, completely destroyed by one of the small warehouses, and then completely destroyed a larger steel warehouse attached to the main office. The steel house was very well constructed with steel I-beams, approximately a foot in width, bolted into the concrete foundation roughly about 20 feet. These beams spanned the roof of the structure and supported a thick, crimped sheet metal exterior. This is believed to be where the tornado reached its peak intensity at 150 miles per hour. The attached office fared notably better, sustaining mainly roof damage and the loss of several windows. The office was very well constructed, consisting of brick and concrete walls. Interesting. So, take shelter in the office, not the barn. The tornado then crossed Highway 67 and continued to cause considerable damage. 2 newly built storage unit buildings with north-facing bay windows were completely destroyed, while a third identical building with south-facing windows was destroyed. The other side of the tornado. The roof was completely ripped off from one of these homes, though most of the walls, which were bolted to the concrete foundation, were left standing. Good to know. I guess I didn't realize our walls are bolted to the concrete foundation.
Yeah.
The poor construction of the second home and the lack of the hurricane clips on the roof of the first precluded a higher rating than EF2. Interesting.
Hurricane
Who
clips.
knew
Yes.
that's how
Hurricane clips became a big topic of discussion for even Missouri after Joplin, because That
Never
can,
heard of them.
yeah, they can keep your roof on. that's basically what they do, and they're normally used in houses where there's hurricanes at. So
Yeah, I don't think they worry about that here in Colorado. Yikes! As the tornado continued northeast, it moved along additional residential areas, damaging several homes. The tornado may have begun to weaken somewhat at this point, as walls largely remained standing on most of the buildings. The tornado may have briefly lifted as it moved northeast into Madison County before coming back down and causing considerable tree damage on Madison Road at 252. The tornado then moved nearly parallel to Road 238. One barn and a small shed were destroyed, along with numerous trees uprooted. The tornado continued to produce tree damage along Highway 730, where it was only a few hundred feet wide and dissipated shortly after. So at one point, it was half mile wide, and then it eventually was died.
Yeah.
So it never said how many miles. Did it?
this one, I mean, I can just
How
measure
long?
it here. It's on the website. This one's like 19 miles. Yep. So, but now onto the other one, the 40-mile one that was just north of that. Which one happened first? Let me take a peek at this here. And St. Louis. So, just take a look at the correlation coefficient. This seems to be the easiest way.
I don't have times here, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the Frederick one. Although, let's rewind this. And so, okay, there's this one. And okay, I see. So then this one started first up here. This one started first, and then this one started right after. And so, right?
A little small. Which towns are those? Frederick? I can't quite see them.
Okay, yeah, they both started at roughly the same amount of time. It's like conditions, just something turned right in the atmosphere. So we started seeing this.
Are
one
you
over
looking
here.
at Fredericktown? It's so
Yeah.
tiny I can't tell if you're looking at
Frederictown.
Fredericktown.
So we've got this debris ball, and then this debris ball here started about the same time, and they kept going. So
Kaufman, St. Mary, Chester. No, not the Kaufman, St. Mary, Chester one. So these are, the quadruplet signatures we saw. So the Kaufman, St. Mary, Chester tornado began on Highway H, US Highway 67, around Farmington. The tornado crossed Highway 67 where it topped snapped and uprooted trees. The tornado traveled northeast, paralleling a portion of Possum Hollow Road, where tree damage was extensive with numerous snapped and uprooted trees. Several homes along the stretch were damaged, primarily due to falling trees. Oh, yikes. The tornado then struck a farmstead near the bend of Possum Hollow Road, where it completely destroyed two outbuildings. I think that was the damage we saw where it threw the propane tanks. Neither of these structures were well anchored, and the damage was rated at EF1. The tornado continued northeast, snapping and uprooting more trees. That's all they have there is trees. And the homeowner with 40 acres of land along Knob Lick Road estimated 60 to 70% of the trees destroyed.
Wow.
That's a lot of firewood there. Hope they have a wood stove. Extensive damage was found on the intersection of Knob Lick Road and Old Frederictown Road. 3 homes in the area lost all or large portions of the roof, with one home also losing portions of several walls. This damage is rated EF2. The damage from the homes, a destroyed garage, and trees were strewn hundreds of yards to the north. The wide path of the tornado at this point was over 400 yards. That's 1,200 feet. The tornado then crossed Highway 00, or is it 00? I think it's 00. Where the width is around 450 yards.
I was wondering. I was like, road infinity? Sorry, continue.
A home lost part of its roof. A barn was damaged. Numerous trees snapped and uprooted. All this damage was rated at EF1. 400-mile. The 400-mile wide tornado crossed St. Francisco County, Genevieve County line, just north of the Green Acres. The tornado then traveled to the northeast on Route 5. More trees snapped. The worst damage occurred to a home on Route AA, just north of Route F. This home was completely destroyed. All the walls blown off into the rear of the foundation and the roof was completely removed while anchoring was evident in the walls. One minor injury occurred to a male at the residence who found shelter in the pantry. It was the only area that was not completely crushed by this storm. Freaky. Smart guy. If you have a pantry, go in the pantry. The tree damage in the area was some of the worst noted, with every tree snapped, sheer supporting EF3 damage rating to the home. Another home on McDonald Road, just north of Route F, sustained severe damage.
Which
Little,
road?
if any.
Which road did you say?
Route F.
Route
F is in Frank.
Route F. I don't think that's
Route
gonna.
F.
No, that's not working. Oh, Route F. Okay. I'm seeing Route F now.
The roof was completely removed, a large portion of the northeast walls removed. Little, if any, anchoring of the walls were evident. The tree damage in the area, as well as the damage to the surrounding structures, was much less than that found on Route AA. Cumulatively, these factors lead to an EF2 damage rating. Numerous power poles. Didn't you say recently, Pi, that how much wind it takes to snap a power pole? Were we talking about that?
Snap a power line, yeah. It's looking like EF2. That's just from my own observations. Because
EF2
I've seen a lot of
strong
tornadoes, like for example, the Selden, Kansas tornado, was just lingering along power lines, and it didn't. I think there was one power flash.
They were lean, but they don't break.
Yeah.
The tornado continues to the northeast along Genevieve County through heavily forested areas. Scattered tree damage consisting of downed, snapped trees and branches found. Then St. Mary. I was like, not St. Mary. It's going into the town of St. Mary. The tornado continued in the northeast into St. Mary. More trees. Numerous trees uprooted and snapped. One home lost its entire roof, and the roof was removed from a large portion of St. Mary Antique Mall. Poor mall.
Ooh, okay,
This
they
damage
got
was
a lot of posts here. Where is...
Can you find St. Mary Antique Mall on there?
Antique Mall? Yes, yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Trying to find a photo.
So they lost their whole roof. Ooh, can you find a roof?
It's a nearby building.
That's the house. Poor little house.
Oh, there's like 3 EF2 posts all in the same area. Come on, where's the pictures?
Can't click on them. One on top of another.
Mm-hmm. Ah, darn it.
They did have down power poles here in St. Mary along the remainder of the tornado track. Chester. Oh, and then it goes into Chester.
Yeah, I'm not finding pictures associated with that. Does this one have one?
Which you already showed the radar scope loops from Chester, but
yeah. Okay, anyway. Yeah, let's go into Chester.
The worst of the damage in Chester occurred northeast of Palestine Road in Three Springs Road intersection, where 2 farm outbuildings were completely destroyed. The larger of the 2 buildings was well built with anchor bolts every 18 to 24 inches in the concrete foundation. This damage was rated EF2. Further northeast, minor roof damage and the loss of a roof-mounted HVAC unit by air conditioning was found at the nursing home near Old Lodge Lane and Three Springs Lane. The tornado continued to the northeast into Bremen, paralleling and crossing Route 115. Minor roof damage in several homes, damage to several farm outbuildings, and more snapped trees along Chester Road. So the tornado dissipated around 1.6 miles between northeast of Bremen.
Wow.
The first of the damage for Chester was only EF1. It looked bigger on radar.
Well, I mean, it had lofted all that debris at that point, so
True.
I mean, there you're getting
That debris ball was
the
huge.
updrafts are probably even stronger at that point, or I mean, updrafts can be stronger. I mean, that's how hail stays aloft. So if it gets up there in that part of the storm, and it just it's not so dependent on an updraft close to the ground, so it can stay aloft for quite a bit. Holy! So, we've got some drone footage here from Chester. This is also Live Storm Media that you guys can check out here. if you want to see more of what it was, this was before Lake St. Mary and whatnot. And there we go. And let's see, what else do we have? An article covering this.
Tornadoes.
This one's got some more
Tornadoes.
pictures from KFVS. So preliminary EF2, but you know, it eventually got the EF3 rating. So that's one nice thing about looking at all this stuff about a week later, is becomes much more apparent on what this tornado did. Let's see, let's take a look at the survey here. Man, that goes along for a while. So any more pictures? Yeah, nice drone shot. Oh, there's the antique mall. It's just messed up. I think, is that the antique mall? Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's St. Mary, Missouri.
Poor antique mall.
Mm-hmm. Man, just...
Sometimes the antique malls are individual sellers and they have a booth, so you would probably lose a lot of your antiques that way.
Mm-hmm. Photos and video. Oh, we do have one lightning shot, one out of focus lightning shot of... Let's see, which tornado was this? This is the first one, the Frederick one. Well, I mean, the southern one. They both came down at the same time. Just...
Oh no, Pi. There was an iconic red barn located off Route 3, and the barn was completely destroyed.
Not the red barn!
It was part of a dairy farm and remained a marker for drivers heading to town.
Oh,
Take a right after the red barn. A 95-year-old owner of the barn was in bed in his home next door. The strong winds blew down tree limbs around his house, but he was not hurt. Oh, it was a tornado, said one Chester resident. No question in my mind, but it was a tornado. Because the swirling, the stuff flying in the air, the trees moving in every direction. I looked around and I thought, oh my goodness, I was on the edge of it, and it passed right next to me. According to the Chester fire chief, the roof collapsed at a long-term care facility located in Three Springs Road. There was a gas leak, but no fire. The facility reports the residents were safe. That's scary when you have a whole nursing home full of people. As far as there were any reports, there were not any more reports in Chester, but along Route 150 in Brenneman was closed to traffic overnight. Drivers were warned not to drive around barricades. Don't drive around barricades, Pi, in as much as you want to.
Yes. Anywho, so we are running. We are like, what is this really? We are at
hour and a half.
Hour and 23 minutes. We've got a few other things to talk about. We should probably get onto it. But man, that tornado was nasty. Sheesh.
Poor tornado.
It reminds me of like some of the 45% days earlier back in March that I was trying to chase. It just kind of reminded me a bit about that.
Compared to March, you have more evening light in March, don't you, than you do in November, or is it about the same?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up a little bit. So,
is it before daylight savings or after?
Well, daylight savings doesn't matter. I mean, the universal time doesn't change. Yeah.
All of you remember to turn your clocks back this
All right.
Weekend. We get to sleep in an extra hour.
Oh, thank goodness.
That means more light.
Anyway, we got to check in on La Palma here. That thing is just going like crazy right now. There's this video.
Hi, La Palma.
Apparently, these things are called lava bombs over here. And so check out this video. This thing is like just... It looks like one of those Star Wars bombs that goes like rolling along, or Star Wars.
You need to share your screen.
And I just turned it off. Okay.
I mean, you sent them the link so they could.
Yeah, look at this thing. It's just cruising along. The whole thing looks like it's turned into the moon from so much ash around here.
It does look like BB-8 is rolling down. It's BB-8.
That wasn't exactly what I was thinking of when I mentioned Star Wars, but.
That's what makes me think of
Yeah, so we're at a month and a half for this volcano right now. So let's take a look at the map on here of the eruption and just see where it's come from at this point. We probably have lots of data. Let's let this load. I mean, there's a lot of here. Like, this is awesome that all of this is built into the web browser. So First few days. Come on, you can do it. Let's get.
What's your website again? Whoop.
Oh goodness, I don't know what this is. I'll just post the link. So this is the third time I've accessed it, so I'd imagine you guys would be interested in it as well. So, yep. So that's when it made it to the ocean, and is it working?
Oh yeah, you can't pronounce that URL anyway. It's like inget maps.
Was it all in Spanish? The Canary Islands
Maybe.
still Spanish? I don't remember if that's a different language. I'm thinking of...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Spain is Spanish.
Ooh,
they speak Spanish.
No,
with
the
a
bananas! It's taking out the bananas!
We need our bananas. Mm-hmm. We probably don't get them from the Canary Islands. But...
This island is covered in banana plantations. It's because of the fertile soil out there. Yeah, it is.
Apparently, volcanoes are good for banana plants.
I mean, that could be other plantations, but yeah.
Going into the ocean in several ways. No.
Yeah, so it's just like, if you think that you just barely missed the eruption, all this stuff north of here, it's just like, it's like it got bored of hitting the ocean. It wanted to go over this older lava flow. Wow. Oh, you can really see this old lava flow clearly. And then, like, just, they're just having a very fruitful crop, it looks like, down there. That's just been completely buried.
Oh, poor banana trees. Mm-hmm. They, well, and all those little islands that are not hit with lava, I take our other hills that were old lava fountains at some point.
There's someone got some great drone footage here of the eruption. Like, look at this. This is totally different from what it used to look like when this thing first started erupting. Like, this mountain was not here. So,
well, and the sound on that is incredible.
Ooh, let's bring that up. Okay, just to be clear, the sound's not coming from the drone. Look at this updraft it's making. It's just causing the air to rise towards the updraft. That's just really something else. This thing is just like a geyser here. Okay, and that's all you get. You guys got to go watch the video yourselves if you want to see the rest of it.
Some of the live streams actually will show an additional camera up in the corner, and they'll say, this is what it looked like 7 days ago. This is what it looks like 1 month ago. So you can kind of see how the cone changes as it continues to erupt. Because I'm assuming this is a pretty tall cone at this point, like maybe 1,000 feet tall or something.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But it just grows. And then it collapses. Oops, sorry. Then it collapses a bit, and then it grows.
All right, so what's this boiling water thing that you have here in the dock?
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I haven't read the article yet, but
I'm trying
the
to
headline,
get it to open, but it's taking its sweet time here.
It's thinking about it. The headline is, the ocean is boiling, and it's apparently another underwater eruption. Let me go back to my links here. But you can't see it. You don't see any steam from it. You just see moving water as a result of it. I guess
it's not loading for me.
What do you mean?
It's not loading.
Well, it's also in your messenger if you need to go over there and click on it. But
what's the headline there? Is it the same one?
Yeah, it's water boiling or ocean boiling or.
I'm not seeing anything about ocean boiling.
I sent it to you today, too. So.
Oh, today.
There is massive eruption on the Ayrshire coast. Makes sea look like it is boiling.
Okay, there we go. Finally got it. And so, let's see what we got here.
You got a screen share.
Well, that's fine, because an ad is playing, so.
Hell, you know.
Whoa, look at that. Okay,
hey,
yeah, let me show
you. You can't look at it without the rest of us.
There we go. There it is. Can I drag this? No.
Isn't that cool?
What the? Where is this?
Let's go fly a drone.
Where is
Ayrshire
this?
coach.
Where's the Ayrshire coach?
I don't know. I don't know where the Oshire coast is.
All right, I
Coach?
spotted an anomaly in the water when flying my drone close, so I diverted it over to a closer look, took some photos and videos. Wow. Huh!
Oshire.
That is
Anglican.
fascinating. Okay, here's the video. Whee! This is terrible quality, but wow. Paul Young, huh? That's quite the catch there. Dang. Let me send this to you.
The Oshire coast is off southwest Scotland.
Okay, hopefully your link will work. I feel like I copied it twice. No. Wow, that's really something here. Like, blah, 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 blah. Wow, it's just, that is really fascinating.
That's cool. Yeah, like, why is there no steam? Why is there no smoke? It's just hot. I guess.
Well, if the temperature's pretty high there, I'd imagine you wouldn't see.
You wouldn't see steam?
If it was warm enough, well, I guess you still see steam. It must not be hot enough. Maybe it's a gas that's bubbling up.
I guess that could be. Like a clear.
Consensus is that it's a burst pipe. Having looked at a few, that's all it is. Yeah, so it's gas leaking. It's not actually boiling.
Come on. They said it was an eruption.
All right.
You all can state your opinions in the chat.
Okay, anyway, we gotta move on. There's still one or two more things left. There's still one more thing that we gotta talk about. What are we supposed to watch in the sky here for?
Well, this is just to keep your eye in the sky or keep your eye on your security cameras. They're saying this week is a great
reason
week
to get some better security cameras?
Or just point your security cameras towards the sky. That would work too. Or charge your Prius battery so your dash cam keeps recording even at night.
Whatever. Yeah.
It doesn't print. All right, so they're claiming that a new meteor shower is coming in. It's actually the twin meteor shower for the end of 2021. The calendar is running out. We only have 2 months left of 2021. The northern, I'm going to mispronounce this. Pi, if you could pronounce this better, let me know. But it's the Tyrid, northern Tyrid and the southern Tyrid meteor showers peak during the first half of November, and each event will carry the possibility of unleashing dazzling fireballs. Whee! So we're going to task all you viewers. Get your cameras out. If you can get a fireball, send us your footage. We'll play it on the next SkyPi.
Set your camera,
we'll have to aim.
Take your phone, put it outside, and hit record, plug it in, and let us know if you catch anything.
Well, they call it a northern and a southern, so should we have a camera facing north and one facing south?
I don't know. Our cameras are super crummy, so...
November is the best month to view the meteor activity. While no major activity is expected, well, this must be written in October, the two Tyrid radiance plus the Leonids keeps the sky alive. Let's go out and look at some meteors, by the way. Oh, and on top of that, they said it reaches its peak tonight. Ooh, let's go out and look for some meteorites. The southern Tyrids.
You wanted to have a fire
tonight
pit? We could just go outside too.
In the early mornings of the 5th. So
Anywho.
It's right now.
Nice.
Let's go get her. So if you hear any booms tonight, don't be afraid.
Okay, anyway, I want to talk about storm rising before we go. So the season...
You did.
The season just wrapped up, and I really enjoyed it. The first episode was a little kind of rough. I think the cameraman was trying to get a little used to capturing things. Like, Reed would say something like, "Tornado!" And you just see, like, this weird cloud. I'm like, I don't think I exactly see anything. There is High Plains Insanity. That was really interesting. I've got a good storm chase from one of his days. Like, there was one building that I drove by. Like, I looked at it. I saw it on my dash cam. And it was looking fine. I like looked at it too because it had like this overhang on it and everything as well. And darn it, I'm gonna have to bring it up. I've talked about it too much here. Let me see here. Let's take a look at my 2020 footage. That was the
while you're pulling that up, the other thing to watch for is the Northern Lights, which we failed to see.
Yeah, we're not gonna see.
Week,
we ain't seeing diddly squat down here.
They really peaked up in Minnesota and North Dakota, South Dakota this week. So if you have Northern Light footage too, let us know. Ooh, what are you showing us?
I'm trying to find this this thing. I think is this still Rapid City? Let's see where am I? This is not looking familiar. Rapid City Hail. I'm sure this is it because I was like freaking out at this point, or maybe I just have tons of dash cam footage here. And let's keep going. We gotta have it around here somewhere. And let's go. Man, how many files are there? Okay, so that's when it's starting to look decent. And ooh, yeah, that's looking good. Okay, wait, I just gotta scroll down. I did not realize how many files I have from this thing. No.
You need to do some file organizing, Pi.
No, I don't. This is something this is actually all pretty well organized. This is just one camera. It's just 1 minute long clips. Okay, eventually I'm now getting into the bear's cage of this storm. This looks like after, or am I catching up to it? Yeah, definitely after. Darn it, where is it? I'm determined. Gotta show it now. Ooh, pretty rainbow. Oh yeah.
It's almost bedtime.
It is before this. I'm getting closer. Apparently it's sunny now. Okay? Sunny? Where? Okay, because that's when I was going south. I'm on this dirt road. Where is it? Because I know I went through like a town. Darn it! I thought it would be easy to find this thing. Because this was the day that the trampoline went off. Actually, come to think of it, let me just pull up my video. More pie trampoline. That's terrible spelling, but
yes, Eric, you are correct. So many clips.
Yes.
Eric also says cool rainbow.
Whee! There's the trampoline.
What?
Did I address
I
it
didn't see
in
the
this
trampoline.
video? Yeah, you weren't quick enough. Dink, dink, dink. Lots of hail, and so... Oh, okay, I did talk about it in this video. Okay, good. Apparently that was the previous day. Well, maybe I didn't. But this town got clobbered. Maybe I didn't talk about it. Oh, maybe... Wait, is this it? Nope, that's the trampoline again. Darn it. Oh, where is this?
I mean, I like trampolines. You could show the trampoline over and over again.
You can go watch the video yourself. It's been up there. Okay. This is more like it. This is starting to look familiar. Don't you just love live, or trying to figure out things live? I mean, I prepped for like 3 hours today. Ooh, there's all the nice hail. Dink, 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 dink. So I'm starting to freak out at this point. Figured I was gonna have to buy a new windshield. Ooh, look at this wall cloud. Ooh, yummy.
One of many windshields, as we have priorly discussed.
I think I'm going backwards at this point. Where's this town? Yeah, I am going... Am I going backwards? Because the hail is back here. I know it was just when the hail started. No. One of these.
You could always show it next week.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I need to talk about storm. Oh, wait, is this it?
Yeah, that was your topic, right? Storm raising.
Yeah, well, this is why I brought it, because the second episode had this same storm chase on it. Someone's like stopping behind the... That's smart-ish to do. Oh, I thought it was it, because... Anyway, so there's this roof that you see in the show, and Reed Timmer calls it out. He says, that was tornado damage right there. The National Weather Service didn't verify that, but I drove past it, and their roof was still on it. But part of the roof blew off when Reed passed it. And then I have footage somewhere in here of the whole convoy of television crew passing by me 7 minutes later, after I drove past that same building. So...
your Prius almost made a National Geographic television show. You're almost famous.
I suppose if I had just stopped for like 3 minutes, yeah, sure, I probably would have been in the shot. But, you know.
You probably would have been in the tornado, though, too.
No, it wasn't a tornado. It was just wind damage. It was the same wind that sent the trampoline flying, so...
But Reed said it was a tornado in Oh, storm rising. He said,
Sure,
this is definitely tornado.
I mean, that's what I would have thought too if I had saw it, but it was just wind at that point. So I was hoping. Oh, is this? Did I finally find it? Did I finally find it? Yes, there it is. It's this building here. And so I was like looking at it because I wanted to like park under it. I'm like, oh, there's someone under it. Do I have room? Like, do I just keep going? So yeah, this chunk of the building like gets ripped off in the show. So, and
Didn't you think about taking shelter there too?
yeah, that's what I was just saying. But there's another car there. So at some point, Reed's whole convoy passes me, and this would have been a lot easier if I had just dragged this into Premiere, so that way, because dashcam videos are so annoying how they split up all their video files into different things. So it was like, I know it was like 7 minutes after, so whatever, seeing the convoy. Oh wait, is this it? Yeah, here I'm pulling over and I let him pass. So there's the van that he's in, as well as the support vehicles and the film crew, and then Mike Tice. I think that was his vehicle behind it as well. Yeah, that's his hurricane vehicle, Mike Tice's thing. So man, they got nice cell boosters. I would love to get a cell booster. Okay. Anyway, that took way longer than it needed to.
They're only 400 or 500. Yeah, it was like 20 minutes. But hey, you found it. I'm so impressed.
Anywho, so I would say that my review, the first 2 episodes where the actual storm chasing is a little bit rough. Second episode's better, but when they get into the hurricanes, like the 3rd and 4th episodes, the hurricane double threat, the overnight disaster, those were really well done, and that really, like, I mean, Mike Tice, and I think that's his name. Is it Mike Tice? I might be getting his last name wrong. Sorry if I am. But they like go out and walk in these hurricanes. Like even the Lake Charles hurricane that we were talking before, Laura, and like just the sheer power and the wind flying all around them is insane. And I know they're walking at it because it's Reed, it's what he does. And but that is like, chasing hurricanes has never become appealing to me before, but it was really nice to see what the appeal is for chasing hurricanes. And so they did an excellent job in that. They actually use Ghost 16 imagery on it. They don't use some cheesy motion graphics. And although their motion graphics, I would say, were very well done. They definitely don't use them over like the same storms that they're chasing, but like, I mean, they throw in some of Micah Blinsky's time lapses in there that they use motion graphics on, but they're really, I was really impressed by those as well. So I hope they get another season in. There's only 5 episodes on this, and they're now on Disney Plus. So I would highly recommend checking them out because they were, I would say they're really great. But man, like Reed is like the guy, like all he does is storm chase, and it just like I just can't help but feel like he needs to get a life. But I mean, he's the one that's getting on National Geographic, and so it's been super fantastic. Go check it out, you guys. It would be great to see more content like this out there, because it seems like from the reviews from the new movie 13 Minutes that did not turn out that great. So, but I will say,
by the way, his partner is Mike Thice, Theiss.
No, I think it's Tice. I think it's pronounced Tice.
Well, it might be. I'm just telling you the spelling. Mm-hmm. I'm reading it here online. So.
So 13 Minutes, I have not watched it yet. The nearest theater for that was all the way up in Denver. So once it becomes available online for streaming, I am very interested to see that. See if, because people are saying that the tornado footage in there looks really good, because it's like actual footage. So that's really neat. So 13 Minutes, that movie, looking forward to see that as well. Okay. All right. How long have we been at this? Another hour and 45 minutes. That wasn't supposed to happen. Wait. How many tornadoes were there this month? Let's just take one last peek. Let's take one last peek at the storm reports. And let's go through with them. Here, can you write these down or add them up? Can you bring up a calculator on your computer, Amber? Sister Pie, as I read off these things for you. You have a calculator ready? Do you? Okay. Let's go here.
My microphone is muted, so I could not answer you.
Yeah.
Because I have a very noisy dog chewing on a chewy behind.
All right, we got 2 tornado reports in Florida on the 28th. So 2 plus 13 plus 2. This is the day that I wanted to go chasing, by the way. Glad I didn't, because this was well after dark. Let's see, plus 27. There's the Missouri one. And let's go back and whoo! Oh goodness, we didn't even cover this one. I totally forgot about this. Shoot. Well,
okay, how many?
Old. It's pretty old. 21 tornado reports in Pennsylvania and Ohio. Goodness, this is what we get for not doing SkyPi for 3 weeks. Anywho, let's see. Yeah, we got to go through the whole state here. Okay, plus 2 again in Pennsylvania, and plus 16 plus 2. That was nearly in Canada. Plus 14 plus 15 plus 11 plus 22. Sheesh. Plus 9. And is that it? Is that it? Oh, plus 1. And plus 5. Sheesh. Very active. Like, I would have expected this kind of thing in November, but okay, that's it. How many do we? What's our tally for tornadoes in October?
What's your guess? What's your guess?
I'm gonna guess 74.
Nope. Add 100 to that.
No.
162. 162.
Are you sure you added that up right?
Yep, sure did.
Might have to put a little blip if it's wrong. I might have to double check that. That seems a little higher because we were only at 39 the last time we streamed.
I mean, you had a lot of 27s in there.
Sheesh. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you guys for tuning out.
Tuning out. Tuning in.
Oh.
Tuning out.
Contrablast, were you able to get footage of the Florida one, or was it just a rain-wrapped mess? I'd be very interested to see if you actually caught that, because I remember you saying that you were going to go out that day. So that was really something that that Florida actually had a 5% that wasn't from a hurricane or a tropical storm. So
yeah, well, they kind of were. I mean, they were massive low pressure systems that looked like hurricanes.
Oh, Josh is saying that the 16 one was wrong, that there were actually 23. Wait, did I say it wrong, or was it reported wrong? I probably said it wrong.
I added up what he told me, so.
Okay, well, we're probably pretty
If the number's wrong, it's his fault. Not my fault.
All right, thanks for joining us, Eric. We'll have to do this again. Hopefully we can get to the next one next week, so. And hopefully it'll be a little bit chiller, and these things won't have to go on for 2 hours long. Good grief, we are.
I mean, we could still have a tornado between now and then, right?
Oh, you got footage. Let's take a little peek about that. Contrablast. Let's take a look. Contrablast. See what we. Oh, not that one. Anywho, filters, people.
Was that a dog taking a dump?
Where is he? Did I spell it wrong?
I know.
Contrablast. That's my problem.
Yeah, it's like control.
Sorry, Kelton. Anywho. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. There we go. Oh, so that one did nice. Nice. So there is actually some decent footage out there.
I did see this one. It was a very nice. It just.
Whee! Ooh,
nice.
It's a time lapse, so I'm going to just let this play if that's okay.
Supercell just rolls by. It was beautiful.
Supercell. Nice. It's not often that.
I was impressed. That's Florida. Like, that doesn't look like Florida to me.
That's like Kansas.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, I know Florida has a bunch of pine trees, but...
All right.
Beautiful.
Show Kelton some love there, everyone. Go ahead and, give him a like or something on that video. That was nice for him to pop up there. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I need a break. I need to drink something. I am...
I know. I was thinking of a very empty glass. It's like... Just reading through those long articles. I needed some water.
I'm glad you did, though, because I was able to follow along with the damage survey, so... Anyway.
Well, I'm hearing personal stories from some of those people. Oh, you know, that tornado was right in front of my house. Just watched it go by.
Okay, great.
I don't want to see that.
All right, well, I'm going to stop. I'm going to cut the stream off here. Hopefully it doesn't awkwardly cut us off at a weird time. I'm going to stop it in
Bye,
OBS
everybody. Sorry, it's like 11:20 p.m. on the East Coast. We're still early and young here